Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a bit of an interesting path. Instead of our usual sources, we're diving into, well, excerpts from a transcript. It's from Buddha episode 22, the Buddha TV serial on YouTube.
Right, which might sound a little unexpected for our kind of analysis.
Exactly. But this narrative, it offers a surprisingly potent way to look at some really fundamental human questions.
Absolutely. It's quite fascinating how this story, it's fictionalized, of course, but it lets us explore these enduring tensions. Things like tradition versus individual thought, loss, social justice.
Family secrets, yeah.
And family secrets, exactly. All set against a specific backdrop. It gives a pretty unique perspective on themes that are really timeless.
Okay, so let's unpack what we're trying to do here. The goal is really to distill the core ideas from these scenes. We'll be looking at how these characters deal with, deeply embedded social norms, how they react to death.
Which is a huge theme.
Huge. And how social hierarchies play out and the impact of hidden truths within a family. It might actually shift your perspective on a few things.
Okay, so let's dive straight in. That opening scene is quite powerful. We meet Darun, this grieving father.
Yeah.
And he can't perform his son's cremation simply because he doesn't have the money for the Brahminical rituals. The dakshina, the offerings, and the mantra recitations.
Immediately throws you into that conflict, doesn't it? Personal grief versus, societal demands.
Right, and the Brahmin stance is so clear-cut. He basically says moksha's salvation depends entirely on these Vedic rituals.
And that they're the gatekeepers.
Exactly, they hold the key. It sets up a system where spiritual peace seems tied to, your wallet and following the rules precisely.
Makes you think about who controls access in any system, really.
Precisely. And what's so striking is Siddhartha, right away, he questions this. He challenges the Brahman's authority on moksha.
He asks for proof, doesn't he?
He does. Where's the tangible evidence? It shows this rational mind at work, even early on, prioritizing understanding over just accepting things.
Yeah, that philosophical curiosity. And then he uses that analogy, which is just incredibly vivid, the blindfolded man.
Oh, yeah. Chained by faith.
Hanging over a cliff. It's such a perfect image for the danger of, blind adherence to tradition.
It really is. The fear of breaking those chains, the fear of consequences keeps you stuck.
Right.
Unable to really see or find another way.
It's a powerful critique, and then Siddhartha sees the injustice immediately. This poor father, grieving, denied this final act because he can't pay.
Right, so his intervention, making sure the cremation happens anyway without the payment, that's a direct challenge.
A huge challenge to the established order, both social and religious.
Absolutely, and this idea of Sadgati, a good afterlife, also depending on these rituals,
right,
it just reinforces the power dynamic. It shows how much influence the Brahmins had over people's spiritual futures, and how that cements the whole social structure.
The social implications are massive.
Definitely. Then, moving on from that, we see Darun wrestling with that profound question about mortality.
Ah, yes. If life just leads to death, why are we even born?
Such a raw human question is what anyone might feel when facing that kind of loss.
And you get this contrasting view from Chandana, the elder, which talks about the cycle of life and death.
The sorrow is momentary. This is the cycle of the world. Kind of putting it in perspective, this transient nature of grief. Is it philosophical comfort, perhaps?
Yeah, an acceptance-based approach. But then there's that practical advice, too.
Right. Man should be practical. It's like, okay, feel the grief, but you also have to deal with reality.
So you see these two ways of coping, right? The ritual obligation versus this more philosophical acceptance. How societies handle grief.
It's a fundamental tension.
Okay, later on, the focus shifts, doesn't it, towards social justice, leadership.
Yeah, that's seen with the tax collectors. Imposing an extra tax, the additional tax, because of war expenses.
And hitting the most vulnerable people, farmers, traders.
Yeah, they're already struggling, and now this extra burden from the state.
You can feel the injustice, and Siddhartha's reaction is so strong.
Immediate. He argues for the well-being of the praja, the subjects, and that line.
When the subjects are gone, who will you rule?
Exactly. It's such a concise, brilliant critique of, short-sighted leadership that forgets who the kingdom is actually for.
It really cuts to the heart of it. A kingdom is its people. Exploiting them is just self-defeating in the long run.
Totally. And he doesn't just talk, he acts. He orders the collectors to return the goods.
Tells them to take his message back to Raja Kapan. It shows that compassion, but also real leadership qualities emerging.
Definitely. And the people's reaction, the Jai chants for Yuvraj Siddhartha.
Yeah, that tells you everything.
It shows they see him as their champion, someone who puts their welfare first. That's powerful validation. Good governance is reciprocal, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, now let's shift gears again. The family dynamics. Wow, so much hidden.
Oh, yeah. Siddhartha returns to Kapilavastu, starts asking about Mahadevi Prajapati, the Maharaj.
And you can just feel the awkwardness, the evasion.
Totally. Until Kakima, the ant, finally spills, well, part of it. That Prajapati is with the Maharaj, but it feels like pulling teeth.
And then the hint about the princess, Bahi, the pet dugrahai, the stomach ache.
A classic euphemism for pregnancy. You see how families sometimes dance around sensitive news.
And the symbolism with the 3 lamps at the temple, it's so layered. One for safe travel there, one for safe return.
And the third one, the mysterious one, Swayam Deepak, the lamp itself.
Which points to a future light for the family, right? The Kuldeepak, the family's torchbearer, clearly linked to the expected baby.
It's heavy with unspoken meaning. And then you have Mala's reaction to Siddhartha being back. She's clearly worried.
Worried about how he'll take the truth about his birth, her comment.
Those who desire renunciation flee from family. But this Siddhartha has returned home.
Yeah, it says so much about him being different and how his return disrupts everything they've kept hidden. And maybe his own internal conflict, too.
The tension just keeps building. Then Kakima reveals Prajapati is at the Rohini riverbank for puja path, for worship.
Setting the stage for that big confrontation.
And that scene at the river, it's so charged. The Tarpan Puja, the offerings for ancestors.
The bangles, the clothes, the sindoor.
And Siddhartha's confusion. Who are these for?
Oh, that.
You, the viewer or reader in this case, you kind of know something big is coming. The dramatic irony is thick.
And then bam. The truth bomb from Mahadevi Mata herself.
She's his foster mother. His birth mother was her older sister, Mahamaya, who died just 7 days after he was born.
It just turns his whole world upside down. His identity, his family history, everything changes in that moment.
And the reason they kept it secret, to protect him from sorrow, from duke, and steer him away from renunciation. Vairagya.
Which shows immense love, I suppose,
but achieved through deception. You feel the weight of that choice on her.
And Yashodhara is right there, about to share the good news, the Shup Samachar, about their baby.
Talk about timing. Just moments before this massive revelation, it adds another layer of just emotional complexity, joy, and potential heartbreak right there together.
Siddhartha's reaction is so raw, he feels like he's lost his birth mother all over again, and now might lose his foster mother and wife too, to time.
That line, will one day see me lose both you and you. It's just devastating. Captures that fear of more loss.
And things escalate further with Mangala trying to harm Yashodhara.
Right, and Siddhartha's fierce reaction, defending his wife, threatening Mangala, with this necklace I will sever your head from your body.
It shows how deep the disruption goes, but also his absolute commitment to Yashodhara.
Then Mahadevi tries to smooth things over, right? Blessings, gifts for Yashodhara and the baby, trying to mend the fractures.
An attempt to restore harmony, yeah. A gesture of love, of acceptance.
But Yashodhara's fear is so palpable. Will he love me as before? Will he still call me mother?
Heartbreaking. That insecurity, wondering if everything has changed irrevocably for him.
But then Siddhartha speaks to Mahadevi, and his words are quite remarkable, actually.
He acknowledges her mamta, her affection, her tiag sacrifice, her upkar kindness, even after learning the truth.
Yeah, it shows incredible maturity, doesn't it? He says he feels adhura, incomplete, without her. Their bond is deeper than the secret.
And that final gesture from Mahadevi, showing him Maya Didi's memories.
Her beauty, that childhood toy, the Kelowna. It's a tender moment, trying to give him peace, connect him to his birth mother.
So, stepping back from all this, what are the big takeaways? We've seen this clash, right? Tradition versus reason, conscience.
Definitely. And the different ways people respond to death, to mortality. We've seen leadership exercise with real compassion.
And the huge, often damaging impact of family secrets, how they ripple outwards.
It's all interconnected.
For me, those aha moments were really Siddhartha challenging the ritual rules, standing up for the common people against unfair taxes. And just the sheer emotional weight of him finding out about his mother, how that discovery just reframes his entire existence.
It really does. Which brings us to a question for you listening. How do these things, the societal structures we live in, our personal histories, how do they actually shape our view of life, death, our place in it all?
Yeah, think about that balance, respecting tradition versus embracing your own conscience. It's a constant negotiation, isn't it?
It is, and this deep dive using this perhaps unusual TV serial source, it really offers a powerful look at these ancient dilemmas that frankly still resonate very strongly today.